In today's video, I'm going to be talking about bidding capital improvements. Now, what is a capital improvement? It is typically a bigger, larger repair or renovation. It might be the replacement of a roof, repointing of a building, that means fixing the bricks. It might even be changing over your boiler or changing your carpets. Typically larger expenses. Now with larger expenses, you should be spending more time and attention on doing it because it is taking so much money and making such a big difference between your building. Imagine replacing a roof, spending tens of thousands of dollars and not having it done properly. That's just a nightmare waiting to happen. So what do? Number one, as a general contractor and a firm that's gone through almost every single type of capital improvement for a building, we're gonna make sure that we have qualified vendors. And those qualified vendors are qualified through both speaking to references, doing work with them, making sure they have the proper insurance, bonding, as well as any other type of guarantees that we can get from them on the satisfactory aspect of their work and their materials. Once that stuff all checks out, we're going to ask for them to bid on the project. Now, you do not want apples to oranges bids. We want apples to apples. So what we do is we create an RFP, which is a request for proposal. And that request for proposal will outline the entire scope of work, what we expect from them, and we send this to every vendor. The vendor then has to send back an estimate and quote along with a timeline and a payment schedule based upon our RFP. We then compare these. Once we compare them and we determine who the best fit and vendor is, we're going to figure out the finances to be able to pay it, as well as the timeline to be able to make it occur. We're going to work with all the unit owners, communicate with them the project, the timeline, and the expenses that they may have to incur as a result of it, and explain to them what's going to happen and how it's going to be paid. We're going to then facilitate the work, supervise it, make sure it gets done, make sure that we get the correct permits, and then once the work is done, we're going to pay those vendors, and hopefully everything's all set. So that's the steps and process that we go through for any capital improvements.